have you ever just stopped and asked yourself what you're really chasing? I mean, what is this whole idea of a great life? We look back at these giant empires from the past, these civilizations that seemed to touch the sky, and you just have to wonder, what was their secret?
Because really, when you strip away all the noise and the day-to-day distractions, what's the actual goal? What's the point of all the hustle, the ambition, the big dreams? It's a massive question, right? But the answer might actually be way simpler than you think.
In fact, you could make a pretty strong case that the entire blueprint for a powerful, meaningful life, whether we're talking about one person or an entire civilization, it all rests on just 6 pillars. 6 essential keys that can unlock pretty much any door you want to open. So what are they? Okay, first, you need resources to build anything. Then you need the power to actually make things happen. After that, you've got to have the knowledge to guide those actions, and you need skilled people to execute the plan. Then you need strong leadership to bring them all together. And finally, you need that special something called prestige, which commands respect. These are, you could say, the universal ingredients for greatness. Just think about that for a second. If these 6 keys can transform a single person's life, what happens when an entire society masters all of them at the exact same time? I mean, what would that kind of power, that kind of glory even look like in the real world? Well, you know what? History actually gives us a perfect example. There's this golden chapter called the Umayyad Caliphate. It was this incredible Islamic empire, and it was the living, breathing embodiment of all 6 of these pillars, all combined into one unstoppable force. So let's break down exactly how they pulled this off. We're going to start with the 2 most fundamental pillars, the engine that fueled the whole thing and the sword that literally carved its shape onto the world map. First up, we've got resources. And look, this is so much more than just a pile of gold coins. This was about having the authority to get anything you needed, to shape the world to your will. The state treasury was just overflowing. You have to picture taxes and tributes flowing in from every corner of the known world, like 1,000 rivers all pouring into one single massive sea. And all those resources bring us directly to power. The Umayyad army wasn't just some army. It was a disciplined, incredibly well-equipped storm that literally redrew the continents. I mean, their conquests were just breathtaking. They forged an empire that stretched from the frontiers of China all the way across North Africa to the mountains of Spain. But you can't build an empire that lasts on muscle alone. You need a brilliant mind to direct that power, and you need a skilled body to keep everything running. So that brings us to our next 2 pillars, knowledge and people. Now, this is what's so fascinating. You see these magnificent buildings like the great mosques of Damascus and Cordoba, and you might think they're just places of worship, but no, they were also world-class universities. They were the epicenters of science, medicine, and philosophy, operating at a level that was just light years ahead of their time. And here's the crucial part. This absolute explosion of knowledge was supercharged because it was all happening in a single, unifying language. Arabic became the international language of science and wisdom. It meant that brilliant ideas could travel, be debated, and evolve at an incredible speed across this enormous territory. Of course, to manage all of this, you need capable people. And the Umayyads built this highly effective, super organized bureaucracy. We're talking about a whole network of governors, judges, and tax administrators who kept the incredibly complex machinery of the state running smoothly. They ensured peace and prosperity from one end of the empire to the other. So we have the engine, the sword, the mind, and the body. That leaves us with the final 2 pillars, the crown that holds it all together, and that undeniable aura of greatness that it projects out into the world. This is leadership, and in this case, it was absolute. The caliph, the ruler, sat in Damascus, which was the heart and brain of the entire empire. A single command from the capital would be executed without question and without delay, whether it was in the deserts of Central Asia or the cities of Spain. That centralized power was the glue holding everything together. And finally, we have prestige. Now, this one's a little harder to touch, but it's every bit as powerful. Prestige really is like that rare diamond you just can't buy. Back then, the very word caliphate was a symbol of ultimate power, of culture, of dignity. To be a citizen of it was a source of just immense pride. So, when you take all 6 of these pillars, the resources, the power, the knowledge, the people, the leadership, and the prestige, and you fuse them all together, what do you actually get? You get what one historian brilliantly called a living and moving statue of greatness. It's such a perfect description, isn't it? This wasn't just a powerful state. It was a synthesis. It was this incredible combination of material wealth and military might, blended perfectly with intellectual brilliance and spiritual authority. So the real takeaway here is this. It wasn't any single one of these pillars that made the Umayyad Caliphate so legendary. It was the harmonious fusion of all six of them working together. That created a kind of synergy, a level of comprehensive power that no rival on earth could even come close to match. It's a truly fascinating model of what total power looks like. And it kind of leaves us with a question for our own lives, doesn't it? Whether you're trying to build a company or a community, or maybe just build a better life for yourself, are these still the 6 essential keys to greatness? I'll leave you with that to think about.